Welcome to I've Walked in Your Shoes. I am your host, Jose Cabrera, and beside me
is the brains of the operation, his wife.
Wow. So let's just get into it. I posted earlier in the week about having Pastor Eli from the Spanish congregation, which his date is set for the 17th. Brother David Holmes, I have confirmed that he will be on the podcast, but I haven't confirmed a date, so I'm hoping 2 weeks after that. Pastor Walker, I haven't confirmed as well, but when I spoke to him about the podcast before I started, and he said he would be interested in being on. So we just got to confirm dates. But yeah, other than that, I'm pretty positive that at least Brother David will be a go for sure. So yeah. And moving forward, we're in the process of moving. So we're just getting our upstairs living room studio, so to speak, done. And we figured, you know what, we'd try it up here just to see. We have a whole, well, I guess I have a whole system that I want done and how I want it to operate. So that way it can bring you, the viewer and the listener, every episode we've recorded, we've used different equipment trying to make it work. Like, we're new to this. We don't know what we're doing, but I don't know. God willing, he'll just zap it on me to become a pro.
Or everyone will just be a little bit different and you'll just have to deal with it.
That works too. But yeah, so thank you for being with us. Is there anything that you're thinking?
No, I don't think so. It's going to be new. Forgive us if an episode is late or doesn't come out on time.
Like
it's because we're in the middle of 52 different things and trying to keep everything together and still keep our lives somewhat normal for the kids and for ourselves. And it's just been a little chaotic and will be until we get everything in one house. Because right now that's the struggle, is living in two houses. So
yeah, so just bear with us. But what I wanted to speak about, I don't have my notes with me. Like I said, I'm winging it from my notes that I took late last night. The last couple days, I've been awoken at the first time at 4:11, and last night I was awoken at 4:10, and I did pray last night, or the night before, sorry, I was praying, and then because I don't remember who it was from, to tell you the truth about a sermon, when you wake up at that time, you should pray. And so I was praying, but I was exhausted. So I prayed, and then I told the Lord, you know what, God, I'm exhausted. I'm going to bed. So that's what I did, and I slept like a baby. I woke up ready for work the next day. But last night, I got awoken again, at this time at 4:10. And I was like, really? Like, why? What's the meaning? So, and I don't know, I guess I'm not there yet where I know what the difference is of the subtle voice of God, or like some of you might have that experience. So and you might, what's the word? You might bash me for this, but I went to Google and I said, what does 4:10 or 4:11 mean? And the first thing that popped into Google was Ephesians 4:10.
I thought you said Philippians, not Ephesians.
Oh, Philippians, sorry. Philippians 4:10 to about the 20th verse. And like I said, I don't have my notes, so you'll have to read it and then get back to me on what you think.
Pull it up on the Truth Church app. Jason DeLue, it's on the app for you. I had to. If any of you watched the service last Sunday, Brother Jason was telling us where we can find information about Truth Church, and if you didn't know, it's on the app. And it was quite the chuckle. So we're just gonna go to the Truth Church app and get to the Bible verse.
I don't know how to work it. Philippians 4.
And then just scroll.
And then just scroll.
Yeah. So you're at 10 there.
And it says, I rejoice greatly in the Lord that at last you renewed your concern for me. Indeed, you were concerned, but you had no opportunity to show it. I am not saying this because I am in need, for I have learned to be content whatever the circumstance. I know what it is to be in need, and I know what it is to have plenty. I have learned the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether well-fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want. And I can do all this through him who gives me strength. Now, I'm going to stop there at verse 13. And there was a couple things that I feel like I got a message for myself last night when I woke up, or early this morning, sorry. One of them is, I've been like a chicken with my head cut off, trying to perfect this podcast because I don't know, as a man.
Because you're picky.
Because I'm picky, but no. The thing for me is like I see other people's podcasts and I see the perfection and I see that, and it's to relay that message, and the viewer wants to see that, okay, he's got his everything from A to C, everything in order, right? Your
His
T's
lights are
crossed.
specific. His camera's
Yes, and
specific.
so-
His angles are right.
So that's what I've been trying to do. But what I heard was he doesn't need all this fancy stuff to reach that one person that is struggling, to reach that one person that maybe you're
Well, and I think
in deep water and it feels like you're about to drown.
I think it's a good reminder for you too that it doesn't have to be perfect for you to get your point across, and for you to get that thought across, and for you to communicate where you're at. Is it doesn't have to be perfect. It's okay for it to be a little bit choppy and
Yeah.
a little bit mixed up. That it's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect.
And that's exactly the message I got, because I have the last few days, maybe more than a few days.
Let's talk relative.
Week and change. I've been, right now we're recording on a new camera because the other cameras were just cheap ones to get started, and it was just lots of issues. And so now we're wanting to have a 3-camera setup so we can have one on main and then one on guests. And then it feels like God said, stop.
It's just a lot of logistics.
Stop. That's not what I'm about. That's not what I'm trying to do. That's not what I'm just taking you, like, yes, I knew the Bible. Yes, I grew up in it, but I don't remember all that. I don't remember lots of that. And it's just, like, he's just, what my message about was when I said,
reminding you of things that he sees that you need to work on or that you need to work through.
yeah,
And it's like you said in your last podcast, right? The whole footprints thing, and it's then that I carried you, right? Like, if you think of it in those terms, it's the guidance to, you don't need this to be perfect. You need your message to be out. You could record it in a cardboard box on
That's
a cell
exactly
phone. And I don't think,
That's
I think
exactly
as long
it.
as the
That's-
message was heard, it doesn't matter the format. It doesn't matter the sound quality. It doesn't matter the lighting or the shadows, or, all of that stuff doesn't matter if what you're saying, it is heard by that one person that needs
Yeah.
to hear
and
it.
that's what I
then
got. That's one of the things I got. We're going to continue here with 14. Yes, it was good of you to share in my troubles. Moreover, as you Philippians know, in the early days of your acquaintance with the gospel, when I set out from Macedonia, not one church shared with me in the matter of giving and receiving, except you only. For even when I was in Thessalonica, you sent me aid more than once when I was in need. Not that I desire your gifts. What I desire is that more be credited to your account. I have received full payment and have more than enough. I am amply supplied. Now that I have received from Epaphroditus the gifts you sent, they are a fragrant offering, an acceptable sacrifice pleasing to God. And my God will meet all your needs according to the riches of his glory in Christ Jesus. To our God and Father be glory forever and ever. Amen. And so another thing that I got from this is it just seems like it's not about one person. It's not about Amanda. It's not about me. It's not about you. It's about when you come back to God, it's about a relationship with him and what he's actually trying to do through me, through Amanda, through those of you that do outreach, is he's wanting you and him to go forward, to go forth and tell your testimony, reach to people. Because one thing that I'm going to always say is your past does not make you,
Doesn't define your future.
doesn't define your future. There you go. Thank you. But that person that you were back there, like myself.
Those are the lessons. The things that you do in your past, that's the lessons that bring you to where you are and where you're going.
Yeah.
So the past is a reflection of places that you've been, things that you've been, things that you've done. And while some of it might be good, it's also good to kind of have that rearview mirror to know, I don't want to go back to that person. I don't want to go back to that place. I don't want to go back to that thing. Like that's where your past comes into it, right?
Yeah.
That's the formative part of who you are. And then it's moving forward is knowing where you want to go and having a direction.
Well, sometimes you don't know where you want to go. Because, for example, I didn't know where I wanted to go. I knew I didn't want to go to church. I knew that.
I'm not sure you
Right?
still know where you want to go.
Oh, stop. But anyways, I didn't want to go. So I don't know where I wanted to go because at the same time, was it Jen we were talking to about, I think it was her that we were talking about, yes, you can be successful out there. Yes, you can have all the things that you want. You can have the cars, you can have the house, you can have the possessions, but there's an emptiness in you. And to tell you the truth, I didn't realize that. I thought we were well off. I thought we were doing good. I was busy, you were busy, camping, friends, right? But I didn't realize that when it was all said and done, when it was time to just pack up the trailer, time to head home, time to go back to work, back to the 9 to 5, there was still something missing. And I know you already know who I'm going to say. And who was it? What did we have missing?
Jesus.
There you go, babe. You're learning, Grasshopper.
Mm.
But yeah, I've just, I don't know, like, I never thought my dad was like this, that he just wanted to go out and tell people about God and Jesus, and I was like, okay, you do you, Dad, and I never thought that I would be like this, but I just feel that there's so many people that are just going about their day and they have something that's missing. You can see that smile and they put on a facade and they...
Well, I think it's a really individual thing. Like, I think if you've never been to a church, you wouldn't know. So hearing other people's testimony, whatever it is and whatever story they tell in whatever platform, it plants that seed,
Yeah.
right? And it's just that curiosity. And, maybe it's not for you. And that's okay too.
That's
Some
okay.
people, they're not comfortable in a church. They're not comfortable with it. And that's totally fine. But if it plants the seed and it gets somebody curious and curious
That's all
enough
it takes.
to look online, to
Little seed.
watch, you know, like to have a conversation with somebody. And if that can give somebody peace, then why would you not want to give somebody else comfort? Why would you not want to give somebody else peace? Why would you not want to make somebody else feel loved?
Why do you want to just hold it in?
There's so much in this world that is against that. There's so much hate.
Yes.
There's so much unkindness. There's so many rude people. There's such an aggressive, fast pace out there. Why would you not want somewhere that you could go, that you could turn to, that just quiets all of that down and is that comfort?
Yeah. And then there's so many of us that speak about joy, unspeakable and full of glory. Why would you not want to share that? I'm gonna step on some toes maybe, but but some of you that have been in church for a long time, right? And you know what it's all about, and you know how you feel, and you know that he's awesome and he does miracles and he supplies your every need. Why would you not go and share that? Why would you not, every moment that you had, go and tell someone about this thing that you have, this God that you have, and that it's pretty much free, and he's willing.
Well, it's not free. In return, you have to give yourself.
No, I know that, but I'm just saying you do have to give yourself. But it's not like you gotta, okay, like they get you on a lot of these where they're like, oh, come and do this whatever vacation package thing, and it's free. It's not really free. They'll like, oh, by the way, that's what I mean, right? But I'm saying it's like you walk into a church, you watch a video online, that, and then you get something from God, right? That whatever he's given you at that moment is free.
Mm-hmm.
It's your decision to decide what you do with it.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm reaching out to you old heads at the church. Sorry.
Why?
I'm reaching
We're
to you
disturbing tonight.
I'm reaching out to you guys like, let's go. Like, it's soul season. It's revival time. It's time to reach out to your lost ones that were going to church. To the prodigals, as Pastor Walker has said, it's time to reach out to that loved one. I don't know. I'm the same way. I'd rather not speak about it to friends, family, coworkers. But where does it end? Like, when are you going to say, no, I'm going to reach out? It's like I hadn't said nothing to G, my brother Gio. I hadn't said nothing. And then, you know what? I felt the need to. And I said, you know what, Gio? If you come to church, it's going to help you. If you come to church, all the problems, all the sickness, everything, he's going to take that away from you. And he said, well, I was going and it didn't help. And I said, Gio, did you just go because you had to and just to be there because you were asked of it? And he said, well, kind of. I'm like, that's your issue. Well, that's the problem, is like once you do what I finally did, and I just said, you know what, God, just take it all. I'm sorry of my sins. I'm so sorry for everything. Please forgive me. To tell you the truth, I am trying my hardest to follow this path, and I'm trying my hardest to not fall back, and I'm trying my hardest, and so far, by the grace of God, I'm just chewing along.
I said to my sister the other day, we were talking, and I said to her, I told her she was worried about something. I can't remember what it was. And I just told her, I said, well, pray about it. I said, just honestly, I said, it might sound corny. It might sound silly. It might sound whatever, because she's not in church. She's not religious. No. But I said to her, I said, the reality of it is the problems are still there.
Yeah.
The problem that you pray about is still going to be there. It doesn't just magically disappear. It takes work. It takes effort. But you don't have to bear the burden all by yourself. You don't have to carry all of the weight on your shoulders.
You do feel like
you feel like a weight has been lifted, because you feel like you're not trying to hold it all together.
It's like when the whole fire thing happened at the hall. And then you were just, it kind of freaked me out because you said you were done with church. You were, why even go? And I was like, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know she was venting. I thought she was serious. It determined football is you throw a Hail Mary.
And you got everyone to pray.
And I Hail Married. That last play was to Pastor Walker, was to the church email. I think it was to Brother Roberto and Sister Cecilia. It was to my mom. It was to Brother Jason, I believe. And it was just like, what am I going to do? She got me to go to church, and now she's going to stop. But no, it was just her venting, which next time, like Pastor Walker saying, maybe just tell us. No,
it was just me saying that. And like I said to Jessica when I talked to her that day, like I had a conversation that day and I said, Jesus, you and I are not friends right now. We are friends off, because it was just so much. And I needed, and whether it's right or wrong or however you feel about it, I don't care. I needed to say that I was mad.
Yeah.
That I was not impressed with the situation, that I was struggling with it, and that's the way that it came across.
And if I remember, Pastor Walker said that as long as you don't...
It's not disrespect.
Curse him or...
Yeah, it wasn't being blasphemous.
Blasphemous. Then you're okay to get mad.
I was just saying,
right?
But we need to have a conversation here, because this is not cool.
Yeah, well, I didn't know that it was just a conversation. I had red flags, white flags, every kind of flag.
All colors.
But yeah, so, and Leah, Ken, we're praying for you. And God knows your guys' every need, and we'll keep praying. Just thought I'd throw that in there. But yeah, going back to your path, to your life, that it doesn't have to define you. And that's one thing that I want you to know is that when I was coming to church and I finally decided to say, yes, you know what? I'm here for a reason. I'm going to give it all. It was like I was attacked from every side. And I was attacked that you're not going to be forgiven. Everything that you've done, it was named everything. I didn't remember some of the things that I've done. And all of that came flooding back. That's not forgivable. That's not forgivable. Oh, he'll never forgive you about that. And it was like, yeah, you're right. Yes, you're right. Like, okay, then never mind. I'm not going to pray. Why even pray? And I'm just going to let you guys know, you prodigals, that once you break through and you give it all to him and you just tell Satan to stop, it's just all lies, and give it all to him and you pray through, and those chains are broken. I'm telling you, it's like you never even committed those sins, to me at least. It's like I have a brand new slate. I have a brand new outlook in life. I'm just thankful. I'm grateful, and that's the reason why I'm pushing so hard for you that have been to church and that grew up with my brother, myself, that went to the school. That's why I push so hard, and that's what this message is for you, is because I want you to know that you've tried it all. You've already tried it all. So why even keep trying? Only he can satisfy your soul. Only he. And he's the one that can make you whole. So I'm just reaching out to you like Pastor Walker did the one time with the staff. I don't have a staff, but I'm just reaching out to you and saying, give it a try. What does it hurt? You've already tried the alcohol. You've tried the drugs. You've tried the sex. You've tried every other sin, the money, and there's no happiness. And if there is, it's temporary. It's not overflowing joy. It's not like me and Amanda can have an argument, like a little tiff that she decided to have today, right? And I just blazed through it like nothing, just motored through, happy, Jesus on my side.
You should have been here when he was putting in the kitchen sink. You should have seen the joy overflowing.
All right, guys. You know what? God bless you. I love you. Praying for you. Oh, my goodness. Stay blessed, and come on and reach out if you need. We're here. Messenger, on Facebook, on Instagram. I don't want to put my number on here because I put it on YouTube, but if you reach out through Messenger and all that and you need to talk, I'm more than happy to give you my number. And then let's get back. Let's get back to that joy and love that you once had, that I once had. And I know, and here I'm actually going to say this, I know that there is a struggle sometimes. There's a struggle, and I'm not trying to whitewash it. I'm not trying to bury it. I know there's things that happened and just, I know there's some things that need to be spoken about and things that need to be brought up and maybe
talked about.
Yeah. And we're trying to get there. We're trying. It's just, it takes a little time. So bear with me, bear with us. And we're trying to make it happen because your salvation is what matters, right? And if you can put aside all that for a moment, all that anger, all that frustration, all that, in Spanish, it's rencor. What is it in English? When you hold something against someone, all that.
It doesn't hurt them, it hurts you.
It hurts you more because it's always eating at you, right? So put that aside for a moment and take a trip with me. Come on by to church. Go online. And if you guys aren't comfortable with coming to Truth Church,
come anyways. And hey, if you come to Truth Church and it's your first time there, you get a free beverage after the service. It's really a great deal.
I never got my free beverage.
You're not a guest anymore.
Okay. That's rude. Anyways, thank you guys for being with us. This was an impromptu. We didn't know if we were going to do it here or at the old house. I said, let's show them our blue curtains. But I love you. Praying for you.